Hey everyone, today I want to go over my last Black Mage run, which was a clear, I think it's clear number 4 on my quest line, but I seriously screwed up phase 2, so I wanted to just see what I could see and play better next time. So this is the recording. It starts a little bit after the buffing. I relogged from my Wild Hunter. I gave everyone else in the party Wild Hunter buff and Sharp Eyes because I have inner ability for it, so it lasts like 10 minutes. So my first burst is a little bit cucked because of that, just because I don't have resource meter, I didn't go grab any, and I don't have any Grandest Goddess. So you're just catching the last bit of buffing here. Party here is nice. We do have a Kana, thankfully, to help buff us up. We're all 270-ish, so this has been a smooth party to run with. My guild is pretty awesome. Appreciate them having me along here. Yeah, just every buff under the sun here. Don't forget home buff and event buff and guild skills and Tengu, and then use an Onyx Apple if you don't want just to have the Tengu buff because it takes the same slot and all this other shit. 41-minute Maple Warrior from someone is insanity. I almost forgot chair buff, so because someone went on their chair, thankfully. It's a lot more attack. And here we have the Try Hard Choo Choo set on, of course. Need that like 5 extra attack and stat points. It all adds up, right? But overall, this is a pretty easy run in that the event buffs, you know, like basically 40-50% attack and IED constantly on right now is just incredible. So right now we're getting counted down and doing like final checks right now. I'm just like glancing all my damages and making sure all my shit is on correctly. I have a safety setup for Black Mage where I run the Auto Recovery 2 special node instead of Fatal Strikes because I just still not used to attacking all of the time, so I like the safety. I use Warrior Link skill, I use Spirit of Freedom, I use one healing familiar that has 2 lines of healing on it, so I'm pretty safe in Black Mage still. I'm not like balls to the wall just yet here, but I think now we're getting counted down. We're about to have Domain popped from the Kana before we enter, so we all get the buff, right? And I'm hovering over that apple because I know we're going in soon. Yeah, so we've got the Domain buff here. It's that pinkish black one. And I was not sure what this unique familiar skill thing was, but I had to click out of this box twice to use my apple. I'm used to clicking out of it from Tengu's Judgment, but not from whatever that familiar thing was. So that threw me off a bit. I was like, wait, fuck, did my apple go off? And I'm like really quickly like, shit, I gotta use that. And I thankfully got it off in time. No music, unfortunately, because I'm mostly just analyzing this, and I also just don't do Black Mage with music on because it would distract my brain way too much. Unfortunately, I just can't focus. So we're all jumping to the right. We're waiting for our Kana, who is binding both of them on top of each other. It's bound. We buffed up on the right, put our familiars out. Phase 1 is not necessarily something, at least in this party, that I really need to worry about optimizing a bit. My burst is really loud, so I just have to reduce that a bit. I love how everyone hates Phase 1 so much that they just burst out of it. It's just like, makes you think. Okay, so here's Phase 2, so I want to pay the most attention to Phase 2. I've gotten a lot better at dodging the chains more often because the damage does add up and you can't use a potion while you have the black curse on your head. Yeah, those pillars hurt a lot and they give you white curse. Yeah, so my first burst was scuffed just because, again, no Grandest Goddess, no resource meter, but I've got it all now, so the next burst that I do will be good to go. So I'm like playing real dangerous between the pillars here just because I wasn't paying attention to the timing, but didn't end up losing a life for it, so that's fine. We have everything happening here, so we've got the white orbs and the pillars and the rolling meteors. So I escaped that one, but I think my first curse death is here. Yeah, so I got white curse from that meteor that was rolling because I didn't jump in time, and then I just got black curse from the chain, so I got locked out. And then I still had white curse from what here? The rolling meteor, probably. Yeah. And then I just got curse locked out again there too. Thankfully didn't take an HP death there, but I should have just used one of my hero's wills. I have both of them hotkeyed. I'm still getting used to like actually using those in boss fights other than Gloom. I'm used to using them in Darkness and Gloom, although they are removing the meteors in Gloom during Darkness, so that'll be nice. Still probably use both heroes' wills for it. I think I mistimed my iframe, or my block rather, yeah. So I got black chained into pillared there, but at least I didn't take an HP death. Still, like, 3 lives lost already is just tremendous. I think this was a close miss, but then I'm on the left-hand side, and I just get bopped by that meteor while I've got Black Curse from the chain, and then I take an HP death from all the shit happening, because every cooldown that Black Mage has went off again. So at this point, I'm like, shit, I've lost 5 lives in by phase 2, so I'm, like, going into survival mode, making sure my, like, safety setup is on, and I'm gonna be more focused on, like, surviving instead of doing as much damage as possible while still like popping cooldowns when I see them, because I do not want to be the reason we have to repeat run Black Mage basically here. So I'm just like mentally resetting with the full death timer here. Spirit of Freedom so I don't die to the full map attack is nice. And we're just prepping to get out of phase 2 here is pretty much what comms was. Yeah, so I did use a hero's will somewhere, but it didn't really help, did it? Yeah, so I just need to get more comfortable with that, and I need to be on the right-hand side more. I don't know why I keep on leaning to the left side. It's just so dangerous with the falling meteors, the diagonal rolling ones on the floor. The right side is awesome. You don't have to worry about these rollers. So yeah, like I said, I'm just like, shit, I'm gonna just be safe, but I've got burst right now, so I'm gonna do the best I can, and I was actually pretty proud of this phase 3, probably because I was so focused on just not dying. I wasn't playing as loosey-goosey as maybe I could have. I died to super lasers there and was just like, okay, we're less than 10% into this phase, I'm just gonna, like, wait my death out because my team is like, yes, just wait your death out. A bit of a carry here. So yeah, super lasers I need to get better at just being more mobile for. If I'm like on top of the Black Mage, I'm just like, shit, I can't jump because he'll knock me away and give me White Curse, and then I'll get knocked into a bunch of other lasers. So I think that death, taking like just the HP death to the super lasers is fine. Like, shit like that is just gonna happen sometimes, but if you're coming into this with as few lives as I had, I probably should have just not been as near him for that. So I've used, you know, my little amount of burst that I was comfortable getting off because I was just in a bad mental state after that early death in this phase. But it paid off. I played a lot safer. I'm pretty good at his knockback attack. Like, that rarely, if ever, gets me anymore. It's really the fucking super lasers and the FMA where the meteors drop from the sky. I just have no good plan for the meteors that drop from the sky because the splash radius is so big. I try to use my block for it, but it just doesn't work out half the time. Like, even if I'm underneath one of the larger platforms. So this was a fun thing I was proud of. So the floor map attack is happening, right? But I just used blink to avoid an attack earlier. So I'm like, okay, jump up, and used Resonance Rush up, and I used Feather Float backwards onto that platform. So I didn't even need Blink or to be on a platform there. I was just able to stay airborne for just so many extra seconds. I delayed it pretty well, so that was pretty cool. I was proud of that. That floor map attack just ticks every so many frames, so if you land on the floor, don't like immediately think you're dead, because you can probably up jump back out of it. It's a very high probability that you don't land on it when the tick is happening. I do need to get better in general, too, in Phase 3, just about, like, the full map attack just happened, when's the next one? So I'm a little bit more prepared. That way I'm less surprised when something like this happens. Yeah, I just up jumped and was like, I'm gonna blink to avoid that attack, but now I'm just going to go up onto this platform. So he's in his smallest bubble right now, which honestly is like the same once you're used to standing on top of him and ducking as the rest of the bubble sizes. I'm usually just right under his feet anyway, so his vacuum that pulls you towards him is usually just where I stand, like right in the center of him. Used Hero's Will here, got knocked back, but Hero's Will's debuff resistance was still active, so I didn't get cursed. That was pretty nice. I remember to use Hero's Will there, because I was like, shit, like everything's happening, I'm gonna get hit by something. I don't mind so much getting hit by the normal lasers in this phase, and like even taking a single super laser is fine, like I did just there. I just avoid White Curse in this phase like the plague, which is the vertical meteors and the diagonal meteors, and his knockback. That was kind of an unintentional, but almost saved my life move. I was like, shit, he's doing the down full map attack from the ceiling. So I was like, just trying to get over here, and he knocked me over, which was not planned, but I almost got under that platform. In one of my previous runs, that has saved my life before. But I'm feeling pretty good because this phase is almost over. I have 5 lives, so I only died, what, 2 HP deaths in this phase. I didn't have any curse lockouts, so I was pretty proud of it. I just kind of shit the bed in phase 2. I recovered mentally. And at this point, I think the team was contemplating, like, should we wait and use Domain before we go into phase 4? Like, because the Kana's Domain cooldown was coming up soon. And then more people started dying, and we were just like, okay, let's just get out of phase 3, because phase 4 is free either way for all of us, so I say that, but one of our party members was talking about how for the phase 4 full screen attack, that just it was all one color a lot of the time, so I was like, oh, he's really testing us this time. I'm shit at attacking in phase 4. I play very safe in phase 4. I don't know what to do if I can't just stand on top of the boss. Because my keys, the end and page down combo, the Noble Summons Ether Bloom, it's a lot of fucking damage, and you have to kind of be really close to the enemy that you're using it on to get the full effect of it here, or even hit at all. And Black Mage phase 4 just Toho's the shit out of the screen, so you can't really just stand on top of him. So I'm still trying to figure out how to DPS phase 4 better. This was kind of weird, so I was taking a bunch of damage. He was starting to do shotguns of the opposite color ball from me, and I was like, there's a full map attack happening, and I am not good enough at this to switch between white and black. I just stay on black all the time. So I just hold my guard down, and I think I go down to, what, 2k HP it said down there? So that rattled me a bit. I was just like, oh, Jesus. What I should have done is I should have jumped and floated, so I wasn't taking the brunt of the shotgun. But a lot of the rest of this is pretty standard, just using feather floats or going far away. Yeah, here's where I was like, I hovered away from the shotgun instead of just tanking it like a moron. But yeah, I stay super far away. I feather float, which is the back dash ability Adele has, through walls of white bullets. And I just push buttons if I've got them, honestly. Which, any damage helps, but I'm like barely keeping 6 swords active, I'm pretty sure, at this point. I used to barely keep like 2 or 4 swords active, so I was getting like no resource meter, I was purely surviving. Kind of interesting to see how long I've come and how much longer I have to go, if that makes sense. But yeah, phase 4 is super easy. Just finishing out the last bit of Black Mage here, but my thoughts on Black Mage Liberation. Black Mage should be a weekly boss and not a monthly boss. It's the only monthly boss in the game, like what the fuck. I have killed Damien. My next boss is Hard Will, solo or duo. But I need another Black Mage clear in July in order to trigger that so I can try it. And I'm honestly dreading soloing Hard Will, so we'll see how that goes. Hopefully I'm able to get some Star Force gains on this next update because of the no booming up to 15 star change, and there's supposedly going to be like a 30% plus 5, 10, 15. So I have a lot of fodder. I'm going to try to get a little stronger. Hopefully I can get that will fight under wraps. The last time I tried, I failed with like 25% left in phase 3 just to see how far I could get. So I need a little bit more power. That was off event too, so if I did it right now with all these event buffs, I could probably do it, but the timing just doesn't work out that way. But yeah, phase 2, I just need to lean off more to the right. That's really what got me. I need to use Hero's Will more. I think we just ended up getting an armor box, arcane armor box, so nothing super juicy, no furniture items, no Genesis badge or whatever. I might mishmash all my other Black Mage clears because I have recordings of them, but we'll see. Kind of weird to go back to them, but going forward, who knows what I'll do. Maybe I'll just be like, holy shit, when I liberate, here's like the journey or whatever. Don't forget to loot your crux. Got the crux. Well, the Black Mage remnant. But yeah, that's Black Mage clear number 4. Damien's already down, just waiting on next month for Black Mage clear number 5. I'm looking forward to progressing. Progression's always good. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.